up. Now, I think one of the bigger advantages of the Samsung Galaxy S4, at least now in 2021, is the software. It's so funny because you would think that this phone is just completely outdated, there's nothing going for it, and it's just a worthless phone now because of the software. But if you're keeping it stock, then yes, it's completely outdated. I would not recommend anybody to use this phone as a stock phone if you're trying to just keep it stock and not custom ROM it. But a humongous advantage for a lot of Galaxy S4s is actually rooting it and custom ROMing this device. Now, when I bought this phone, and this was a couple years ago, actually many years ago, oh my god, time is flying, and I used it as a main device. Like I said, I couldn't use it on TouchWiz or whatever it was. I hated it. It was not my favorite version of software ever. It was horrible. And funny enough, I was actually able to custom ROM it, and it was a great experience. I was able to download some AOSP ROM, I think, or whatever, like Dirty Unicorn, whatever that ROM was, and that was a solid ROM. It would overheat like crazy, but I was getting really good performance, and I was getting a very stable version of software, which was pretty funny. I just had to charge it all the time. But nowadays, I'm sure there's like way more custom ROMs that are way more stock and way more stable. So that's another pretty big advantage. I think I had an Android Marshmallow ROM on it, or whatever it was at the time. I'm sure, like I said, there's probably Android 10, there's probably Android 11 ROMs for this thing. I'm not even too sure right now. But the fact that I was able to custom ROM this thing is the make it or break it. If you're willing to custom ROM this device, then that's a whole different area we're talking about. We're comparing a phone that is up to date in terms of software versus a phone that was completely outdated like 5 years ago. So take it as you will, but in terms of the software, it's either make it or break it. If you custom ROM it, then that's really good and it's probably worth it. But if it's not custom ROMmed, if you don't want to root it or custom ROM it, then I probably wouldn't recommend it at all. Now, on top of that, like I mentioned, the battery life wasn't that great when I custom ROMmed it, but I'm sure the newer stock ROMs, kind of more stockish ROMs, are probably a lot better. This thing had a 2600 mAh battery when it first came out, but again, it was removable and it's expandable, so you can just go and charge up a bunch of batteries and bring them with you. Or what you can do is you can easily just go ahead and just expand the battery if you want. Get a bigger size battery, throw it in there, get a battery case, throw it on there too. Like, this phone had a lot of potential, and I'm so sad they actually removed the removable battery, but again, there's nothing we can do about it. But that was one of my favorite assets of this device for sure. So in terms of that, that's probably one of my favorite things about this phone. And